The Face at the Door. A true story of family, secrets, and destiny. What would you do if someone knocked on your door? And when you opened it, you found yourself staring into your own face. Same features, same smile, same scar beneath the chin that only you, your mirror, and your husband know exists. This isn't just fiction. This is the story of a secret buried for 30 years. Alice, a former teacher and now a full-time mother to two young children, Precious and Daniel, had recently decided to return to work. Her husband Henry, a calm and successful business consultant who mostly worked from home, supported her. With the kids now in school and Alice beginning her training program, they decided to hire a maid to help manage the home. Henry contacted a reputable agency. No special preferences, just someone trustworthy and experienced. 2 days later, the doorbell rang. When Henry opened the door, he froze. The woman standing there was polite and soft-spoken, but what made Henry stop cold was her face. She looked exactly like Alice, and you could see that moment. Alice walked downstairs, curious about who was at the door. She stopped mid-step, her breath caught in her throat. Her face drained of color. The kids ran out. "Mommy," Daniel whispered, "why are there two of you?" The woman's smile faded. She backed away, clearly as shaken as they were. I think there's a mistake," she stammered. "I'm here for the maid job." Her name was Grace, the agency said, 29 years old, no family, raised by a widow. She had worked in several homes, but never encountered anything like this. No, she wasn't a twin. No known family. Her record checked out. And yet, she had Alice's face. That night, no one slept. Alice kept replaying the moment. The scar, the voice, the mirrored presence. It couldn't be a coincidence. Unable to ignore her gut feeling, Alice called her aging mother back in Benin. "Mama, is there something I should know? Is there any chance I had a sister?" "Mama alish chakle dismissivele." "Ah, you Nollywood ideas. Go and sleep, my daughter." But Alice couldn't, especially not after finding an old baby photo with a hospital tag labeled baby. Not just Alice. Baby A. And then it happened. Grace, too, discovered something, a crescent-shaped birthmark on her back, identical to Alice's. Same location, same shape. When she showed it to Alice, the silence in the house was deafening. Something wasn't right. And it hadn't been for 3 decades. Alice booked a flight and traveled back to her hometown. She needed the truth from Mama Alice. This time, she wasn't leaving without answers. Sitting with her mother in the dimly lit compound where she grew up, Alice placed the photo and tag on the table. "Mama," she said, "was I born alone?" Mama Alice's laughter this time was forced, hollow. Her eyes welled up, and then, finally, the truth broke through the silence. "You were two," Mama whispered. "Identical. Baby A and baby B. I was bleeding, broke, and your father just died. The hospital said I owed too much. They threatened to keep both of you. Then a nurse told me about a woman praying for a child. She cleared my bills. In return, I gave her one of you. I thought you'd both have better lives that way." Alice's world tilted. "You gave away my sister?" "I was desperate," Mama said, sobbing. "I was sure I'd never see her again." Back home, Grace sat alone in the kitchen, hands trembling. She looked up as Alice entered. "I want to see Mama," Alice said softly. "And I know everything now. You're not just someone who looks like me. You are me. You're my twin." Grace didn't speak. A single tear slipped down her cheek. "I've spent my whole life not knowing you existed," Alice said, voice shaking. "But now I do, and I'm not letting you go again." Grace smiled. fragile, real. From that day forward, everything changed. The mystery that once filled their home with fear now sparked healing. Grace no longer worked as a maid. No one expected her to. She became a part of the family. A missing piece finally found. The kids adored her. Henry found peace. And Alice fell whole in a way she never had. One Sunday afternoon, Mama Alice visited. On the balcony, she sat beside Alice and whispered, "I owe you 1,000 apologies. But today it's Grace I want to talk about. I was told she'd be taken abroad, raised by a wealthy family. I didn't know she'd live her life in struggle. But now she's home." That evening, Grace helped Alice cook dinner. The family gathered, laughter echoing off the walls. After dinner, Grace stood up and said, "I never had a real family. I never knew where I came from. But now, I know where I belong." Just when the night felt full of closure, the doorbell rang. A courier. A letter. A plaque. In the process of investigating the agency Grace once worked for, her name had come up in a long-lost inheritance file. One of her former employers had passed away and left her a house, along with a small trust fund. Grace never knew. She had come to serve, but Grace itself had served her. She chose to stay. "This is my home now," she said. "These are my people." Together, Alice and Grace launched a home bakery, shared their story in churches, and became symbols of forgiveness, sisterhood, and second chances. What started with a knock at the door turned into a divine reunion. What looked like coincidence was destiny, because sometimes the broken pieces of our lives come together at just the right time, when the heart is ready.